Alright, what's going on everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Marvel Snap video. So today we are taking a look at our Day 1 Theory Craft for Mirage. Mirage is a 2-cost, 2-power that says on reveal, copy the lowest cost card in your opponent's hand into your hand. Give it +2 power. So pretty interesting card here. This one's going to be dropping in Series 4. And as we can see in the top left here, there are going to be other cards in the Spotlight caches being Thanos, Master Mold, and of course that random slot, which will be a random Series 4 or 5, or if you get a duplicate, 1000 collector's tokens. Before we dive on into the decks here and talk about the card, do want to mention the article, link in the description below from Den. So if you want a little bit more information about the card, the decks, how they work, all that good stuff, or you just want to grab the code to import it, definitely recommend checking out the article in the description. Talking about Mirage a little bit here, this is, in my opinion, one of the weaker cards coming out recently. I don't think it's a bad card. The information can be useful. This is obviously handy in decks that care about keeping the hand size big, like Dino, or decks with a collector that are trying to capitalize on generation. Maybe you want this in a Quinjet deck because you'll be able to reduce the cost. There are decks that do like this effect. However, I don't really foresee Mirage being the card that makes or breaks those decks to a point where they're going to be performing significantly better due to the addition of Mirage. She is a Series 4 card though, so if you do like the card, I would recommend using tokens on her, unless you're really interested in the other cards available this week. If you're missing out on Thanos and you really want Mirage, maybe this is a good week for you, as Thanos has been very popular and powerful lately, so if you want to get your hands on him, or just that cool Spotlight variant for him, maybe this week is a bit more worth your consideration. Master Mold doesn't really see a whole ton of play, so I don't really foresee many people picking him as the reason to go for this week alongside Mirage. Imagine Thanos is going to be the big ticket one, or if you end up getting Mirage for tokens and you want to go for that cool Spotlight variant. But to me, I think Mirage is probably a pass. We have some really cool Series 4 cards coming up in the coming months, most notably in September. So I'm going to be saving my resources for that. But I don't think Mirage is necessarily a bad buy if you think you're going to have fun with this card and you like the decks that it makes a lot of sense in. With that out of the way, let's take a look at the decks that Mirage works in. So starting out, we have a Thanos list here. Thanos Control has been a very popular and successful archetype recently, both in ladder, conquest, and even tournaments. And Mirage kind of makes sense here, not only for a bit of information, maybe we can actually leverage the card we get from the opponent, as the Thanos deck is pretty flexible in what it's trying to do. And since we're running Devil Dino here, Mirage in a way acts kind of like one of our Infinity Stones, where she is replacing herself, so it keeps our Dino nice and large. Other than that, just a pretty standard Thanos control list here. We have Professor X to shut down a lane, Blue Marvel, so we have a go wide element. Valkyrie and Spider-Man can also help us with lane control towards the end of the game. Iron Lad to copy our powerful 5-drop effects, or even just get some value off of a Stone or Jeff. Luke Cage as some anti-high evo tech. Armor to protect our big things as well as our stones. And Psylocke serving as a alternate time stone, so that way we can cheat out one of our powerful 5-drops as early as turn 4. The next deck we have here is one that I think most people are going to be trying out with Mirage, and that is a Devil Dinosaur Shell. This one's pretty interesting. We're rocking the underused and underappreciated Helicarrier. We have the funny Lady Sift Ghost Rider combo, so we can discard our Helicarrier on turn 3, get some generation, which could even pump up our collector, then bring it back on turn 4, while still having a big hand for our dinosaur. Nick Fury also acting as another big source of card generation, alongside Mirage, who is going to help us pad out our early game a bit, and be very beneficial with both the collector and our Quinjet. We have Shang-Chi and Enchantress as a bit of removal sources who get more powerful with our Zabu, and then obviously the namesake of the deck, Devil Dino, who should be nice and big due to the fact that we're going to be generating a solid amount of cards, and America Chavez just to help guarantee we get our very powerful early game cards at the beginning of the game, like Mirage, Quinjet, Collector, Zabu, etc. And then wrapping it up with our final deck here, we have a bounce deck. So Bounce, kind of like High Evolutionary, has really fallen off most people's radar, and I think that's mainly because people seem to be allergic to nerfed cards, even when, as we're seeing with High Evo now, they can still be really powerful after they've been changed. I think Bounce is a great example of this. The deck still seems really strong, and Mirage seems like a fairly natural fit in it, as not only is it a cheap thing we can tempo out in the early game, gives us a bit of information, but we can set it up in our beast lane, bounce it back to hand, get some more value and more information. Seems overall pretty decent in this style of shell. Other than that, not much to say here. This is a standard bounce list. We're trying to do the bounce things with Kitty Pryde, Angela. Ham, still really good as a 2-drop, shutting down the opponent's late game plan. Bass, still really powerful as it buffs almost all the cards in our deck, most notably Iron Man and Mysterio. 3 power Mysterios for 2, really strong, especially when we have Bishop getting pumped up even further. And Hitmonkey, even though he did take the nerf to 3 mana, is still a really powerful card that I think is being slept on a bit. And then we have Beast as our main bounce tool to bounce those 1-drops or our Mirage, get them back to our hand, reduced costs, play them again, get more value. Iron Man helps us go tall, and Chavez mainly for the deck consistency, but also gives us a nice thing to play on the final turn if the opponent is running a counter in Wave or Sandman. And that is going to wrap it up for this week's Day 1 Theorycraft for Mirage. Again, highly recommend checking out the article from Den, link in the description below, if you want to grab any of these decks or just read up a little bit more on the logic behind them. But even though I don't think this is the most powerful card out there, I do think it is a fairly fun one, and I'm excited to see what people come up with it. That's going to wrap it up for this one though. If you enjoyed it, remember to like and subscribe, and stay tuned here at Marvel Snap Zone for all your Marvel Snap content. I'm Zombies, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.